Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, the universe isn't punishing anyone. Let me say that to you again. The universe isn't punishing anyone. The universe is a created thing, just like you, just like me. And it runs on autopilot. Why? Because of the 7 principles. Imagine, if you will, because most of us think that there's someone, watching our every move. That's what we think. There's someone watching our every move so that they can, beat us with a big stick. If we listen to ourselves, we'll hear that. Why is this happening to me now? Like, universe trying to teach me something. No, your habits. Your habits. So the good news is this. Actually, the great news is, as you go through life, as you live your daily life, when you come upon an undesirable experience, especially one that keeps happening to you, it is not a time to judge. It is not a time to complain. It is a time to assess yourself. Why would you assess yourself? So you can say, oh my God, I really do keep doing that thing and I don't want to do it anymore. That is what your habits do. Esther Hicks calls it contrast. If you don't experience the quote unquote bad, then how do you know which one to choose? Which one is better than bad? But I say it is law. Your habits, my habits, we keep doing these things over and over and over again. And then we rock ourselves in the corner and we say, oh my God, the universe is punishing me. No, it isn't. Our habits present us with an experience. And whatever experience we are dealing with at that time, we get to decide, is this what I would like to have? Or is it something I would like to not experience anymore? And once you decide right there and then, oh, I like this, well, then keep doing it. But if you say, I don't like this, what is it that you are doing? This is what it means to take stock, to assess yourself. You ask, what am I doing? I keep doing whatever that behavior is. And the more you keep doing it, the more this experience persists. I want you to consider this today. Think about, this is how we can employ the law of correspondence. As within, so without, as above, so below. Which means we run on autopilot. Once a habit takes root, that's what we're running on. So that we don't have to think about what we do. This is why rhythm exists. So night and day know when to happen. Can you imagine? Oh, the humans are bad. I will withhold the sun today. No. It runs on autopilot just like we all do. So when we know that it runs on autopilot, right? Now we can look at ourselves and go, oh snap, I do keep doing that thing. And because you keep doing that thing, because we keep doing the thing we have always done, we continue to get the experience we've always had. So to change the outward experience, you must change the habit, the habitual thought that runs underneath it. And the reason why we don't know is because we've been doing it for so long, it has become invisible. This is the understanding. There's a level of comprehension we must have, right? Does this make sense to you today? Because So many times we say, "Well, I must have done something wrong. I'm being punished." I want you to consider that. Why? We do not learn necessarily from a punishment. Well, we think we do. We think we do. But a punishment brings fear. If you are afraid to make a misstep, you are afraid. That's what fear does. But the universe is a created thing. It is not the all. And because we've been raised with religion at the helm, we have this fear of, well, I'm going to burn in hell, so I don't want to do that. Well, what do? We behave because we are afraid of the punishment of eternal damnation. I want you to consider the law in this situation. The law is. The law is. It does not sit and judge. That's on you, and that is on me. But as I say, because we have that religious thing in the background, because we've done it for so many years, sometimes it is hard to let go of that fear. But if you encounter people who have left the establishment of religion, you will find a level of anger and resentment there because something just does not compute. There's a direct contradiction. Now, I'm not here to tell you whether the word is right or wrong. I'm telling you the law is within the word. And if you look at the law, you will recognize it doesn't beat you up, and it's not going to reward you either. Because your behavior has to be pure. Meaning what? Well, do what I tell you, and you'll have. Do what I tell you, and I won't banish you. How can you be separated from God when you are a thought? From whose mind? The all is mind. So you can't be separated from it. So these experiences that we have on a daily basis are because of our persistent habits. They are because of our persistent habits. And you know what it does? What's the word? These habits, okay? These habits that we live by create experiences. And we experience these things. We live them. Oh my God, why did this happen to me again? Because the persistent thought has not changed. Thus, the habit has not changed. The experience must remain the same. This is what we are living out. Our habits. So, what do we do to change a habit? Well, what is a habit, first of all? A thought, word, or deed, action that you do persistently and consistently. You do it the same way every day at the same time. Every single time you do it. You do it. And as I said, this is no surprise to the thief. The thief knows because the thief observes and doesn't judge. The thief observes to learn. So if the thief, right? If the thief observes to learn, why do we not observe to learn ourselves? See, this is the effect. This is one of the long-lasting effects of fear. That right there. Oh, I don't want to upset God. Why do we say that? Because we've heard our whole lives, God is a vengeful God. God is a jealous God. I want to ask you a question so you get you come to the understanding that you comprehend. How can you be jealous of something that is a part of you? You made it. How can you be jealous of it? How can you be jealous of it? How can you punish yourself in essence? So today, when you examine your experiences, and how do you know to change them? Because it keeps happening. And because you keep saying, why me? That is your cue to change your habit, to assess it and change it. And now that you know what the habit is, thought, word, or action that you do consistently and persistently, well then to change the effect, one must change the cause. So when I tell you today, you're not being punished, that is something you need to know. Because right now, you don't believe me. I don't want you to believe me. I want you to know it for yourself. Examine what you have been taught. Examine what you have been taught. And then look at the laws. When people don't get something, oh, maybe it's not the right time. I understand that thought process. But to come to that conclusion, you must have done a thorough examination of the self. Oh, now is not the right time. Oh, but I've been hoping for 3 years. We don't hope. We call those things that are not as though they were, and they become. But that takes a level of knowing. When you know who and what you are, that is where you live from. And because you live from there, you experience life through that lens. So today, please consider before you say it ever again, how the universe is punishing me. Or the universe is trying to teach me something. No. Your experiences are ever before you, and they are your guide because they show you who you are. As within, so without. Notice I didn't tell you there's not a God. How can we be here? How can the law be here if there wasn't a creator of it? There is a creator of the law. Well, there is. The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. Whose mental creation? The all's mental creation. But how can the world be as it is? Because we have forgotten the law. And when we forget the law, we fall into darkness. And when we fall into darkness, well, we act like people who are in the dark. We are afraid. We stumble around and we fight every shadow that we can perceive. This is what we do. But the law brings what? Light. What does light do? Light shows you who and what you are and where you are. And the why is based upon your habits. So today, let's stop beating ourselves up. We do not beat ourselves up. It is not a place that growth can happen. Oh my God, oh my God, I'm so. That's the first thing we do. When in actuality, the first thing that must be done is to say, oh, this again. All right, let me see if I can find the root to this. That is what we do. We get to do that. Because you notice, you don't change if you don't know that there's something wrong, or that you don't see something is wrong. This is why you cannot force change upon someone. Of course, unless you have major fear behind it. But in order for true change to take place, you must acknowledge, oh, this is where I am now. Do I want to remain, or do I want to go over there instead? Because as I say to you today, the universe isn't punishing anyone. It is a created thing. Just like we are. It is our brother. We're in it. We're part of it. But the all is above it. And because we are human, and we have bodies and emotions, we want to give a personality. Listen to the word personality. We want to give behavior to something that has no body. How do you know it has no body? The all is mind. The all is not body. The all is mind. Mind. Consciousness, awareness. It is just there, and it is aware of itself. And thus, it set the laws in motion to keep itself on track. But it is not bound by the law. It is the creator of the law. Yet, it follows the law that it laid down for itself. So today, please remember this. You are the driver. You are the, as Neville Goddard says, the operant power of your life. And because you are the operant power of your life, that means there is no one to punish you. There's no one to reward you. Follow the law, and your life begins to expand in a most beautiful way. As you ponder this, let us take a moment to welcome everyone into the space. Jeff, I see you in Twitter. It is beautiful to see you. Welcome on such a lovely day. I do believe today is the spring equinox. Is that what they call it? We get more light. Ooh, lovely, isn't it? Fan base. Yolanda, Miss McQueen, Zola, Summer Rose, my name, Lady Elevation, I see you. Coco, I see you. Zandria and Furious, I see you too. Love Troll, I see you. Welcome to the space, darling. YouTube, who's here? Pens, David, Queen Marat, Cyber, the better man, Not. I see you. Sonia, you are the ones in the chat. Hello to you. And for the ones that have not made yourselves known, welcome to you also on such a beautiful day. Yes, I know my voice sounds like a man today again. I think I have to do a day of silence to get it back where it should be. But today, understand, we are where we are because of our habits that we have developed over our lifetime. The one we're in right now. We learned how to do these things. And we learn how to do them at such a young age because our survival depends upon them. But when you no longer need to survive because you're thriving now, that is our cue to change because it no longer serves us to do a particular thing. It doesn't. So you see, Miss Ravioli, you see, take that into account. When you are released from that bondage of, I must tread lightly, because if I wake up God with my bad behavior, he's gonna get me. Sounds like an alcoholic parent to me. You don't want to wake them up. Yeah, but God is compassionate. The law is. The law is. The more you come to the knowledge of that, you will free yourself from a life of fear. You see, we confuse fear with respect. Oh, but if I put the fear of God in you, you'll respect me. What is respect? Our resident etymologist told us what this was. You're re-inspecting the self. You're looking at you, taking a new perspective. And you're saying, I don't want to be treated like that. So let me behave like this instead. And when you do that, the vibration changes. This is why some people will either come into your life or leave. Because you are on the same frequency as them, the same wavelength as them. This is the autopilot of existence. This is autopilot. But because we don't know, because we've been told over and over again, you better do what God says. I'm telling you, there is a creator. There is. Because the beauty that exists could not be here by happenstance. It shows intelligence. It shows the ability to think. That's what it shows. So if you have the ability to think intelligently, then you know that brute force does not work. This, if we would but grasp it. And I know it is challenging. I grew up with a tambourine and the Bible in my hand. I know. I understand. But if you notice, the law does not contradict itself ever. But when you read what has been written in some of the stories in the Bible, there are gaping chasms of contradiction that we don't know how to resolve. It's quite like the Dogon tribe, yes? This little tribe in Africa who knew where Sirius A, B, and C were. These are planets. The Dogon have no technology, but yet they are accurately drawn on their cave walls. And so now when these French discoverers went there, it took them 15 years, mind you, to convince the Dogon to let them have access to the cave to see. And they asked the Dogon, how do you know where these planets are? Do you know 50 years later, NASA was able to confirm what the Dogon had already known based on the drawings on their cave walls. And the Dogon said, this half man or half fish came out of the water and told us where they were from and showed us and taught us. Now, nobody wanted to believe the Dogon. There's a point to this. Nobody wanted to believe the Dogon. Because if you believed them, because they knew where these things were in the sky without any technology, they knew where they were. Not a lick of English, but they knew where they were. Then you would have to believe the information and how they got it. So when you look at the law, and you notice that it does not contradict itself, but then you look in the scripture and you cannot resolve the amount of contradictions that you see. Why would God destroy everything? Why would you punish everybody because you're mad at them? Wait, what? So then when you look around you and you say, but look at how intelligently these things happen. When we say that, now you're going to have to question what you've been taught. But what's the first thing we're told? Don't question God. How does one learn if they don't ask questions? That's why I say to you today, sometimes when we come face to face with the things that we've been taught and they don't make sense, look at the law. You can't dispute them. They are there, and if you ask by way of what you can see right there, because they happen every day, they happen every moment of the day. And because I can say day, then there must be night. And if you know when day happens and when night happens, what do we know? The law of rhythm is what we know. So if you know the law of rhythm and it's not contradictory, as within, so without. So then they all cannot be contradictory. But you see, we've been taught contrary to law. And because we've been taught it, it is familiar to us. And that's why we say crazy things like, I'm being punished. We say that. Why me? Then it is the habit. If you cannot see past your habit, you won't see where to make the change. Change happens because you become aware of something. You become aware of you so that you can say, oh, I shouldn't do that. I don't like that behavior because I don't like how I'm treated. What can I change? Especially if it's the thing that keeps happening. That's your cue. That's your cue to say, oh, snap. Oh, that's really me? Yeah. But we pull out these whips from our tongues and we castigate ourselves. We beat ourselves up. One does not learn like that. We learn anger and we learn resentment from it. But when you examine your behavior, examine, think about that word. Look at the mind. That's what it's. Examine. Look at the mind. When you go to the doctor examines you. Why? To get an assessment of what is the cause of this expression. If we get to that point where we can look at ourselves and say, oh, that's where you want to be. Because when you look at yourself and you examine you, you can change accordingly. Look at the freedom that gives you. We're meant to be free, to be sovereign. That is what it is. So today, remember, as you go through your day and you see something that keeps happening to you, that is your cue to examine. Because every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. We see the effect. And if you keep seeing the same effect, well, then clearly you're having the same cause. So then you have to change the cause. But I don't know what the cause is, Angela. Take some more time in the quiet. And you ask, why did I do that? And you will come upon something, because I'm afraid. Why am I afraid? What has caused the fear? Because remember, fear is only the umbrella. And when you begin to chip away at that fear, you begin to see the event that happened that created that fear. And it was the event, the way the event made you feel is the cause. And that feeling, which is the sensation in your body that your body remembers, then you can say, oh, I was neglected, man. No wonder I don't trust people. I was abandoned. That's why I don't trust. Ah, and because you don't trust, you behave in a particular way. So then, the recognition that I don't trust, well, why don't I trust? Because of that. So you're looking for security, in other words. Then employ the law of rhythm. Security means you're secure in what you're doing. The body likes security. So this is when you develop a new habit that brings about security so that you can trust. Well, how do you make it sound so simple, Angela? Because when you're seeking to grow, you learn. You don't judge. That is why I want to encourage you today to know that you're not being punished. There's nobody waiting for you to smack you on the back of your hands. Why would anybody need to do that when we're so good at doing it for ourselves? That's why I say everything is set on autopilot. But you don't have to believe. Look at what you know. You know 7 things. The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. As within, so without. As above, so below. Everything vibrates between 2 poles, a swing to and fro, creating a rhythm, an ebb and a flow. Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause, a projection of the will, masculine, giving life, giving form, feminine. You know those things because you see them every single day, so you know them. Then start to apply what you know, and you will find that you will come face to face, or as Thoth says, you will come eye to eye. What does that mean? Consciousness to consciousness. You'll come face to face with it. And you will recognize something called awe. And then reverence will come from that awe. And from that reverence, you give praise. It is a natural progression. It is a natural progression. And that's what I wanted to remind you of today. The beauty of what you have been given by way of the law. This is why I tell you, we cannot argue with a belief, with what somebody knows. They hold fast to it. They hold fast to it. That's why you learn to choose. You learn to choose who and what kind of vibration you will interact with. There's so much. There's so much. Take comfort in knowing that today. You're not being punished. You're simply seeing a persistent, habitual behavior that you do. Yeah, but it keeps getting worse. No. This is the law of vibration. You know this. The more you stay polarized in a particular vibration, the static electricity builds. And the more it builds, well then, sooner or later you'll get the shock, won't you? This is not meant to be discouraging today. It is meant to encourage you so that you see you are the one with the power to change your life. And you change from the inside out. Even if you plant a sapling instead of going from the seed, that sapling had to come forth from where? A seed. All things come from within. There's no way around it. It is law. It is law. So it seems kind of heavy this morning because we brought, quote unquote, God into the mix. But it has not been brought into the mix to confuse you. The law does not create confusion. The law simply tells you causation. Do this, that happens. Every single time. It doesn't change. The more you do this, the more that will happen. Change this, change that. It is simple and it is straightforward, without bias. Why? Trust. Right? And LC, we'll talk about that today. There's a workshop, not a workshop, but a live stream, shadow work at 12:30 p.m. Eastern today. I'll be live streaming on Fanbase as well as YouTube. Shadow work. We hear it all the time, but we're going to come to an understanding today about it. There's that whole thing is simply for us. Think about this. If you don't know what you are doing, you continue to do it over and over and over again. Ever seen that episode of The Simpsons? I think it was Lisa who set up this electric charge on the muffin. And every time Bart touched it, ow, 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 ow. He kept doing the same thing. He kept touching that muffin that she had electrically charged. He didn't change his behavior. He just kept touching it. That's how we live our lives. The habits that we created are what drive us, those programs. And because we keep living the program, we keep experiencing the same thing. So in order to change what is happening, in order to change the experience we're having, we must first become aware of what we are doing. Did I do that? Steve Urkel. Yes. Did you do it? Yes. But you don't have to continue to do it if you don't want to. Simply change your behavior. And as neuroplasticity says, To form a new neural pathway, you must change the way you think. This because it starts in the brain. And when that new neural pathway is formed, then the body behaves differently. As within, so without. It is the law of correspondence. This is why we persist. Because it gives the brain time to form a new neural pathway so that we can behave in a new way. This is what science is showing. It's showing us. So that's why you don't give up when you want to make a change. You know where you are now, polarity, and you know where you'd like to be. And the steps in between are the action steps you take on a daily basis to solidify where you want to be. Until it becomes a habit. You are polarized there now in the new direction. So once you're polarized in a new direction, a new neural pathway has been formed and your behavior changes. So you see, where does punishment fit into that? Nowhere. If punishment was going to work, it would have worked. Yeah, but if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. Because we don't understand what discipline means. Discipline is to teach someone how to be. Go ye into the world and make disciples of all men. What does that mean? Teach them how to be. Does it say to beat them? Well, according to the Crusades, but I digress. So today, be encouraged to know we are the ones at the helm of our lives. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. These are the days of our lives. You are at the helm of your life. You are guiding it by way of your habits. No punishment, no reward. I want you to see why. If I punish you, you will behave out of fear. And if I reward you, you will behave to please. So without reward and without punishment, you act according to your own volition. You act according to your own conviction. As within, so without. If I punish you, that is something from the outside to make you behave a certain way. If I reward you, it is something from the outside that makes you bend and change to be what I want you to be, not who you should be. Begin to see punishment and reward for what they truly are. They are manipulations. But if you behave according, now hear it. But Angela, doesn't that mean if I do this way to get what I want in the law, you must become it? You're not punished or rewarded. You become the cause. You become the cause at your own volition. You are driven by your own mind as opposed to being driven by the mind of someone else. That is the difference. They both do the same thing, punishment and reward. They make you conform to something that is outside of you. But if you take stock of who you are based upon what you would like to experience, the manipulation is gone. Because you're looking at your life and you're saying, you know what? I don't want to be treated like that. So I'm going to modify me based upon you. If you are the sovereign, you have to make your own decision about how you want your life to go as a sovereign being. But if you are a slave, you have your eyes downcast and you look up and you say, what do I do next, master? Tell me what to do, master. How can you ever have confidence in a self? Because as a slave, you resent your master. I'm just saying. Look at it. You ever known anything that was enslaved that wanted to remain thus? It always fought for its freedom because it was intended to be free in the first place. So today, understand that's why you're not being punished or being rewarded. You're being asked to look within yourself and develop who you want to be based upon the experiences you want to have, not the experiences I want to have for you or that I want you to have for me. One must live from a place of what? Self. Self-love. This is why you can't make anybody love you. You can't make anybody be your friend. That's what I'll tell you today. So once you take stock of who and what you are, and it causes you to be honest with yourself. Why? Because truth. Do you want to be lied to? Nobody wants to be lied to. But we lie because of the fear of something. So think about that. When you say, I want to be this whatever kind of person, there's no fear there. You become who you want to be. And as you will notice, the law always tells you, aim higher. As within, so without. So are you the best? Well, then you'll experience the best. It tells you this every time. As within, so without. So if you want to be the best, then you must see yourself as the best. And you begin to behave as your best self. Who's best? George's best? Or your best? Then you do your best. There is a feeling in the body of accomplishment. Because you know what you did. Because you know what you did to accomplish it. And you are free. Rewards and punishments bind. You're meant to be free. Day 23. Day 23 of you being faithful to go to the gym and to do a different habit, to create a different habit. That's what you've done. You see it? Day 23 of your new habit is what you've done. Queen Morant, beautiful. So today, I just want to leave you with that. Understand that these habits that rule our lives, they only rule us if we don't know that they're there. But if we take the helm and we say, I'm making this habit so that I can behave this way, who's in control of you? You are in control of you. And you make a new habit by doing what? The same thing, the same way, every time. So who's in charge now of your life? You are. Living the law is. It just is. It is what you want it to be. It is a representation of your freedom, a representation of your ability to think for yourself, to reason. This is why when things are going on around you in the world, because there's 8 billion people on the planet, put on your law lenses and look through the lens of the law and examine what is going on so that you know what to do, so that you can counter. This is what it is, right? This is why we don't live our lives in fear. Fear clouds the mind, blinds the eye. Live the law and you will banish fear. How can I say that? Well, the law is in the scripture. Perfect love casts out all fear. Perfect love. Not, oh my God, I love you so much, you're so good to me. No, that is affection. But unconditional love means, if you watch it, unconditional. It has no condition upon it. You don't have to be this way in order. See it? There's no condition placed upon it. You know, when you hear a commercial, it's like, conditions apply. Love has no conditions. That's why the scripture can tell you it rains upon the wicked as well as the righteous. It has no condition. None. So use the law. It doesn't have any conditions. Ah, they did. There you go. See? Queen Marat says her kids made up a little chant and they sing it for her. Because why? She's created a new habit instead of her old one. She has relinquished cigarettes. Do you know how big of an accomplishment that is? That's massive. It was disciplining the self. Teaching herself a new way to do things, a new way to live her life, thereby now becoming what? An example. So that her children now can become disciples of the law because they're watching their mother do it. You see, using the law has far-reaching effects. Far-reaching. We can only see so far. But the effects of the law are far-reaching. You don't just change your life, but you influence those around you, especially the ones that you are in charge of, your wee ones. And so, LC, I saw your comment about your nephew. Disrespect comes. Then we have no rhythm in our lives. The law of rhythm is what? The ebb and the flow. A schedule. There's no order. So if there's no order, there is confusion. And when there's confusion, there is fear. Because why? You don't know when things are going to happen. It is unpredictable. Elsie, I'm going to suggest this to you, and I will tell you why. I'm going to have a class on it because As I keep telling you, there's much that we don't know, but if we would use the law, things will make sense. Go to Dollarama. Everybody who's listening, go to Dollarama. They have these little LED lights, a string of LED lights, and they plug in by USB, right? They plug in by USB. And for your nephew, the color, it can go purple, the color purple, the color either pink, green even. But have that light on, that string of lights on continuously around him. Why? Well, everything vibrates. Everything moves. Color has an effect on each and every one of us. Color has an effect. You choose the right color, you get the desired effect. Red will energize. I want you to think about it for a moment. This is why I tell you that the law is beautiful. If I say to you, and you know what that is, right? You know that song. What light comes to mind? What color comes to mind when you hear that? Red. Red. We call it a red light special, a red light district, because what happens there? Something naughty. So if the red light can do that to you, what can the blue light do to you? What can the purple light do to you? This is coming up. I'll be hosting something on it soon. Just let me get myself together and we'll do it. So I can teach you now how to better soothe and calm yourselves so that you can do what? Make the changes you want to make in your life. Light is here to assist. Think about these things. So that's what I suggest, Elsie. It's just a strip. And turn it to purple. Remember today, my beautiful friends. Why am I so congested again? Lord Jesus, give me grace today. The spring is in the air. We'll work it out. Remember, we can make a change when we acknowledge what is happening in our lives by way of looking at the outward expression. So anytime you catch yourself saying, oh my God, why did I do it again? Why does this always happen to me? That is your hidden habit. And you don't beat yourself up with your hidden habit. You look at it and you say, well, the law of causation says, if I change the cause and the outward expression, the effect has to change. What habit is it that I need to change? What is that? Why do I do it? What habit do I need to change? That's why we don't spend time rocking in the corner. You don't rock in the corner. You sit there, you look at yourself and go, wait, what? I just did that? Okay, I don't want to do that anymore. What new habit do I need to make? And you start doing the behavior to create the new habit. But we have been taught to complain. Oh, God, help me. I do it on reflex. Save me, Jesus. Save you from what? You mean the habit that you keep doing all day? All you need to do, all we get to do, recognize where we are at and decide where we would like to be. And do the actions in between every single day. Queen Marat knows exactly what actions she must do to get from smoker to non-smoker. And she does those steps every every single day. The law lays it down and lays it out for you, so you know exactly what to do. Because why? It brings a sense of inner peace. That is where we are meant to live from, inner peace. But I'm done. I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to rest my voice now so I can see you guys at 10:30 my time, which is 12:30 your time, Eastern Standard Time, so that we can talk about shadow work, because that was a question. And I said, okay, let's address it, because I hear about it all the time anyway. So let's address it. What is shadow work? Is it important? Is it necessary? What does the law say about shadow work? That is what we'll be doing. 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. I trust today made sense to you. I did prattle. I'm working on that. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2. I see you, Twitter. I see you. Thank you very much for being here, Love Troll and Mozinga and Jeff. I should say Cuddles. There you go. I love you all. I love you all. Much love, Twitter. Twitter is closed. Fanbase, I see you. Thank you for the love, Fanbase. KZ, thank you. Let me go see Miss McQueen and Yolanda and Zola. Thank you so very much for the love. And everybody, thank you for being here. Zandria, KZ, Coco, love. My Melanin, Summer Rose, Zola, Miss McQueen, Yolanda. Thank you all for being here. And I will see you 12:30 p.m. Eastern. If you can't catch it, the YouTube replay will be available. But I'll live stream on Fanbase as well. I want to start utilizing it more. But I'll see you around. And I appreciate you. And I trust today made sense. And you know, because I close YouTube Live, we can wait, I had to laugh because Mozinga, I was talking to my bestie yesterday, and she said the exact same thing. She called me yesterday Angela. Angela is what she called me. And I was like, oh, hallelujah. What are we going to do with you? And now Mozinga called me the same thing. See, there are no coincidences in the world. Not a single one. Because it would be contrary to rhythm to have something that is unpredictable. Rhythm makes everything predictable. Oh, but what about luck? Roll the dice. However many times, and you'll begin to see the pattern. This is why somebody can count cards at the casino. There's a rhythm. Follow the rhythm and you will know. The ability to hack the law of rhythm means you have the ability to see the pattern. That is what rhythm is. The ebb and the flow creates a pattern. Y'all better go before I don't start up again. I love you all. I do. And share. Nice to see you. I will catch y'all 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a quick discussion about shadow work. What is it? Is it necessary? How do you do it? And where is the law in it? Much love, Fanbase. And if you still want more of me, I'm over on YouTube before I say goodbye. Much love. Much love. Then I must. I'm waiting for it. I can see it. It's a little bit I guess you could say it's buffering. Buffering. Buffering is what's happening with it. So Mozinga, LC, you can send me an email, okay? And we'll break it down a little bit more for your nephew. But remember that you're on the outside looking in. And so if people don't see the problem within themselves, they can't change it because they don't see it. So slide into my DMs, darling. Queen Marat, you are absolutely amazing at using the law to create a new lifestyle. Eminem, Marcia, hey, Ties, Tidbits, Miss Ravioli Pens, David, Cyber, the Better Man, Ana, Asonia. Thank you all. Ah, I see you. That's Yolanda, right? With the dizzy? I think it is. I'm trying to remember, but I think it is. Let me be right. I see you. But I trust it made sense. And I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to tell you that how to live your life. I'm just giving you the law. You decide how you're going to live your life. Use the law and you'll always be right. Not right in the sense of, I'm always right. No, right. Thinking. Righteous. Yes, David, thank you for reminding me about Lance tonight. I do have Lance tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I wonder, because I didn't remind him, but I know I told him what I wanted last week, but I know Lance is busy, so I will message Lance to, what Bible story do you guys want to know about tonight for the law and how to use it based on that Bible story? I know Anot suggested Ruth and Naomi last time. Who wants to suggest something else this time? You guys can totally do that. Let me go here and yeah. If you know what Bible story you would like tonight on Lance, just let me know. And I'll send him that. Oh, Walter. Hello. I see you, Walter. Yeah, if you have a suggestion for a Bible story, I'll go through it and find the law and show it to you where the law is so we can better apply the law to our own lives. Miss Ravioli, yes, I'm doing it on both platforms. I was thinking of live streaming it on Fanbase, like how Isaac does, right? And also on YouTube at the same time. Oh, it's at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so like lunchtime today is when it is. And if you can't be there, then YouTube will have the replay because Fanbase doesn't have that capability just yet to record the rooms. But that's what time it is, lunchtime, lunch 30, 12:30 is that shadow work tonight. Oh, Cyber, Lot's wife becoming a pillar of salt? Oh, indeed. That is a beautiful story because he calls it regret. When you regret something, but I'll let your whistle. That's what it's about. But then you have to understand where the law is in that. It is a beautiful story. Lot's wife, Sodom and Gomorrah. That's the only part we seem to remember, right? Sodom and Gomorrah. But you'll begin to understand more and more about the law tonight. You're welcome, Ms. Ravioli. So that we can apply the law to our lives. That's why I tell you that the law doesn't contradict itself, ever. And I say that not to hope that I'm wrong, hope that I'm right. I say it because I know. How do I know? Because I've memorized them. And you experience them every day. That's why we need structure, predictability. Right? We need predictability in our lives so that the physical form feels safe. And you're not overriding your body with fight or flight hormones because you're unsure of your surroundings. Because you're always walking on eggshells. That's what chaos does to you. Right? So rhythm soothes by creating order. Yeah, Aina, exactly. You know, this is the beauty. And the sooner we begin to recognize it, the better we shall be for it. Anywho, I don't want to keep y'all so long. I will just be silent from now till 10:30, but I always get a call in the morning, so I don't know that I can be silent for rendition. But I will take some time to be silent today to give my vocal cords a rest. And I have 3 books to narrate, and I've been waiting to narrate them until I stop sounding like a man because of congestion from the cold I had. But using the law, my friends, using the law. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. I truly, truly do. And I look forward to seeing you today, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for shadow work. And it shouldn't be more than an hour. It shouldn't be, right? So I'm going to see y'all soon, my beautiful friends. Soon. Very soon. So I will message Lance about Lot's wife. I don't think I've done that one before. I may have touched on it, but I don't think I did it before. So, yes, I can do that. All right, everybody. Much love. Much love.